Alright, we'll get this switch palace. See how long this takes. Alright. Hey, you like spin jumps? I like spin jumps. How's this gonna work? Do I put a pause on this? Things to figure out. No, we don't put a pause on it, but then what? How does that work? I guess we can just outrun it. Oh, and that one moves as well. All right. Yeah, mine is indeed smiling. Yeah, this hack is, there was another level. I think it was the other Switch Palace. They really like these colored munches. Really makes them slightly less aggressive. It is cool. And I do like that they have chosen the primary colors. And yes, green is a primary color. I'm counting green as a primary color today. Because it is in the additive color space. That's alright. Additive, subtractive, you're all welcome. Exactly. Sure it is. Sure it is. What's the Y in CMYK? It's I know that, you know, a lot of us, we possibly not paper artists. And so, you know, yellow for us is red plus green. But, you know, Indeed, I am also an RGB guy. Technically, if I were to put my face up to my monitor, the yellow would be comprised of 2 different colored phosphors. That might be fun to do. Maybe I'll put my face up to my screen. Yeah, it is. It's super confusing. And that's just because you're working with, you know, a different phenomenon of light. It's the kind of direct light versus reflected light, is my understanding. And we know that when light is reflected off something, it's we're taking away from white, as opposed to, you know, adding to black to get a color. And you've just got to figure out a way to separate your sense of color into those sort of 2 different places. That's true. Brown is just dark orange. Do you know, I think someone told me, I don't consider this a fact, but someone told me that Russian doesn't have a word for pink. It's just light red. And whether that's true or not, you know, you can think about it like that. It's just that we've decided to give it its own separate name that you feel like red and pink are sort of drastically different things. I wonder what that means for their culture. Maybe a lot more guys wearing light red shirts. Purple and yellow also creates brown. Yeah. Okay, well, purple is red and blue, and yellow is red and green. So I guess you'd end up with something that's a little more red than neutral. I'm a big fan of hexadecimal color codes. It's one of my favorite things. Whenever I am writing HTML, I just tend to favor things that have a nice even code. If I'm doing anything in Photoshop, it's a totally different story. But I'll still, like, if I'm in Photoshop or, you know, any sort of paint program, if I'm looking for yellow, I'm just going FFFF00. I'm not messing around with anything else. I'm not amazing at translating things from decimal to hexadecimal unless it's, you know, close to a multiple of things. I don't know how valuable that skill is, unless you just want to be a total dweeb for life. I'm sure there's some people that actually get benefit out of knowing that sort of stuff by heart, or having a good sense of what a hexadecimal number is in decimal. Base 11, yow, that's gotta hurt. Why would they teach you like one off the base you used to? Oh man, that would suck. Hey, Mace, what's cracking? That's easy for simple additions, yeah. So if you're doing base 11, then what is it? Just like 0 to 9 and then an A? Like, what do you use as your additional numeral? So if you wanted to represent, you know, the value 10, like what does that look like in base 11? Learning about different base number systems in primary school sounds pretty intense, man. I feel like I didn't get a good grasp on those until much later on. But then, you know, you were 10. Don't you mean you were 9? Don't you mean you were the symbol that came between 7 and 8 or whatever it is? Oh. I think the number system thing, like different number systems, didn't really make a lot of sense to me until I had to, you know, I was forced to start understanding binary and how that represents numbers. And I think after that, you know, after that, once you relearn the concept of place value, in such a drastically different number system, I think it helps when you translate it to other things like, you know, hexadecimal and octal and all that sort of stuff. Can't say I've used it recently. Yeah, I didn't get binary until someone actually explained, oh yeah, by the way, it's literally just the it's just the value, it's just the numeral multiplied by the place value, and you just like add that up for every digit. And that you can just do the same for, like, that's how every number system works. And then you hear about like other cultures that had different number systems. Yes. Beldraith, I'm glad you weighed in there. I was about to talk about base 12. I hear that, was it the Egyptians that used to use base 12 because they counted 12 on each hand by counting the 3 different segments of each finger as an individual thing? Something like that. You've got 4 fingers with 3 segments on each. And yeah, 12 is one of those lovely, highly divisible numbers, and that's why maybe one of the good things about the imperial system, don't catch me saying that, but, and I don't actually know anything about like miles or pounds or whatever you guys are using. And by you guys, I mean Americans, obviously. But you know, things like time is very divisible because it's you know, based on, you know, 12s or things like that. Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be like some number that ruins everything. I mean, that's what prime numbers are, right? They just ruin everything by not being compatible with other numbers. Yeah, I wish I knew like more stuff about maths. I don't know if, I think maybe everyone has this experience where, you know, you don't really understand the point of learning anything like mathematical when you're in school. Maybe you're a real smart kind of kid, or you had really good teachers that kind of helped you understand that you weren't just performing just useless operations on a piece of paper. But I feel like I didn't really get any of it until much later on in life, when I had to sort of, I was trying to solve problems and then realize, oh, hang on, I can actually use math to do this. You know, stuff people wouldn't probably normally do. Like, I was writing some software to, you know, when you have a mouse, when you move your mouse around, you know, it moves up and down, it moves left and right, and everything is sort of multiples of that, or combinations of that. But let's say you wanted to rotate your mouse cursor by an arbitrary angle. Suddenly I had to dig back into trigonometry and, you know, translate things from just, you know, up, down, left, right, like your Cartesian coordinates into polar coordinates, and that requires a little bit of trigonometry. And it was nice that I was familiar with how to work with angles and stuff. But, you know, so yes, I was like pi, if they're still irrational in different bases, you know, I reckon that there's probably a paper about that. And I feel like, what kind of base would you have to turn an irrational number into a rational one? You know, like what would the base value have to be? Because it's the point, like the idea behind an irrational number is that it doesn't resolve to a kind of, you know, a ratio, something that can be expressed as a ratio. So I don't know what that would be. I mean, I guess, yeah, maybe someone with a brain can figure that out, but I don't know. It's one of those things where a math guy might be able to tell you exactly why or why not. It shouldn't be possible, yeah. Maybe you'd have to invent a totally new number system, I guess, where maybe an integer is defined as pi. Yeah, base pi, exactly. Yeah, all integers are now defined as multiples of pi. Enjoy. Enjoy your life. Now, how do we figure out the radius of, how do we figure out the circumference of this circle when the radius is whatever, is pi? Yeah, that's correct. But it's not, I mean, but it isn't irrational. I mean, ends up, if you try and represent it, you know, in a decimal kind of way, as a real, then you do get a repeating digit. But the fact that you've just defined it as 10 divided by 7 means that it can be expressed as a ratio of 10 over 7. And yeah, it makes sense in base 7, totally. You can definitely divide things by 7 and get a nice clean kind of result. And the circumference, if the area of the circle is pi, then the circumference is 2. Yeah, but what is 2? If you're in base pi, how do you represent 2 in base pi? That's going to be an ugly number. I love that we get to talk about maths. This is the kind of conversation that I would never have in real life. I have to go on the computer and play Mario and be heavily distracted from the Switch Palace in order to have a cool conversation. You know, there's there's too many things. I got to focus on both the Mario and the chat, and I now have to crunch numbers. It's too much for me. I think I've reached my limit of exactly how much I can take my focus away from playing Mario. Sometimes playing and chatting is okay, but no, you can absolutely continue to talk about it because, like I was saying, it's a conversation that interests me and it's entertains me to no end. But I saw the end a while ago. Do you remember we saw the end once of this level? I feel like it's not too bad. I just need to remember what I'm doing. There it is. All right, cool. Brief moment of focus. That's all we needed. Is this one of those games that trolls you? No. All right, cool. Yay! The switch happened. And very good, we did that. So now we have 2 switch pulses. Thank you for the GG. Rock on. So, guys, that's this path. This path is totally done. Jump? Jump where? I gotta play this one next, but what we'll do is hit a save. The saving is important. 11. I think 11's good, right? Yep, that's exactly where we saved, so that's very good. Now we got 2 exits here. This is Lava Foothills. Let's jump in, see what's going on. Okay. Okay. What is this? Can I jump up this side? Yeah. Is this a secret exit? It is a path. Okay. This is indeed a path. This is where we'll be taking our little friend Mario. I think this is all just a go, go, go kind of section. I could have stopped there, but we'll see what happens. We'll try some stuff out. Ugh. You don't want to do it that way. Little Mario, huh? Our little friend Mario from Little Mario World. That's where you might recognize this little guy from. Hello, Dr. Octavius Pepper, PhD, MBA, etc. Good to see you. Always a pleasure. Alright, so that section's free. You just hold the jump button. That's good. Alright, so this section, that kind of section where I said all you have to do is hold the jump button. Turns out sometimes you don't just hold the jump button. Sometimes it doesn't line up exactly right because there's variance. Like I'm holding it there, had to release slightly there. Alright, and what was this? This is this thing. Oops. Yeah, that's a... Looks like we just continue to spin. I try and spread the gospel where possible. I have to remember on that saw just to keep going right. I keep trying to stop to just kind of judge it, but you just got to keep going. So it's like that thing. What is this? What am I doing? No. I couldn't could you believe that I couldn't understand that at all? I feel like a slight pause could have probably helped. But my history of pausing things is not so good. Ugh. Oh, you know something? Indeed. Whatever the opposite of a champ is, I just have so many pause fails. Now, you've played a little bit of Mario World. Tell me this. You can't press down to grab onto those ropes, can you? Because I tried to do it then, and I've tried to do it in the past, and it never works. I often like to press down to grab onto things, like the, other climbable things like vines. I think vines and nets, it kind of works, but I don't think it works on those. And I've never really put it to the test. Let's try it here. There's one here, right? I don't know. I don't think it works. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those SMW things, right? It's like there's consistent rules except in these, one or two instances. Like, you don't get a high bounce off a spin jump kill on an enemy. Oh yeah, except for Rexes and those dino things, right? Oh, and dry bones. So there's all those fun exceptions. Okay. Oh, I went to press down again. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to assume that Civ11 is one of those people that's total scrob at FPS games and isn't a total legend at Quake, and just looks at them retrospectively, not realizing that there are people that are still playing these games to this day and have been for the last 24 years. And so I think it's very different when you retrospectively look at something you played for a couple of months in 1996 versus someone that continued to play it for decades. And it's always good to appreciate, stuff that you remember. That's kind of what I've done with, a whole bunch of things. But there's a competitive scene that still exists to this day that will not move on to newer games because newer games are not as good. Subjectively. Oh, that's the end. Alright, cool. Yeah, walkthroughs. One day maybe we could do a single player walkthrough. It'll be kind of boring because it's a single player game. I mean, I can shoot stuff and show you where all the secrets are and all those things. GG. That was a level. Alright, so we're kind of... Was that? Here's a question for you. Was that the secret exit? Don't answer that. Let's find out. Yeah, it could be fun. I mean, thing is, I don't know how much more I've got to learn about Quake, especially the single player game. I'm not going to say I know everything about the single player game as far as down to the last, piece of geometry in the levels. But yeah, I don't know. How long would it take? Shouldn't take too long. How long? I guess if we played on Nightmare skill, it might take a bit longer. Because you might have to actually think about, being smart. We can commit a little bit of time. We can play some Goof Troop. And you, as the resident Goof Troop expert, can give me all the hints. I can probably get through the first boss. Okay, so we go down here. This is the regular exit, I guess. Have I already messed up? Oh no, he's hecked it up. Nope. So, what am I supposed to do? What do I do? Oh, come on, down. Go down. What was this? A regular jump. Okay, this was the thing I didn't know what to do. I mean, it looks like a chuck gate, but he won't jump unless you... Was I supposed to kill him or something? Or can I actually do this chuck gate? Oh, you can do it. It's just a really tight one, I guess. Oh. Bummer. Well, we know what to do. That's good. Yeah, indeed. So close. We almost got the H, but you know, it was the first time seeing it. I'm not surprised it didn't work. Yeah, alright. Oh. Need to get more distance. There we go. Oh. Straight into the hot soup. H. That's an H. Here's one. Do you say H or H? H or H? I don't know which one to say. I'm not sure which is correct or what it says about you. Oh, yeah, that's how you do it. If you're, yeah, name a retro game for me to play. Yeah, maybe. Thing is, though, I feel like I'd have to have some sort of guarantee that I'll play it for more than about 4 seconds. And be like, this sucks. Oh, you say that, okay. That's good. Yeah, look, there might be some stuff. There's at least one more game I'm thinking about adding to that. That's the Master System game I've been talking about more than once. Yeah, it's not... Oh, alright. Jump. Yes. I don't know, I think as a kid, you liked it. Yeah, dude, totally. It's a different experience when you have it when you're younger and you don't really have a lot of preconceived notions about what a good game is supposed to be. And you just play it for what it actually is. Is that normal for him to go down there? Okay, how am I going to die to that? Oh, that's it. Okay, cool. Never got close to it. Ow. Yeah. Trying to think of like the worst, because I used to hire a lot of games and some of them were just like total trash. But I can't really think of any off the top of my head. You just like, oh, well, I guess I got this game, I'm stuck with it. I guess I'm going to play it. I've only got it for a few days. It's not like I've got it for life. I can just play it as much as I need. Alright, so maybe I'll continue the trend of using the right path. Indeed, GG, thank you. Yeah, we'll do the right path. That's the right way to go.